Yes, here come the Dodgers, and this is Vin Scully, along with Jerry Doggett and Al Helper, inviting you to stay with us now as the Dodgers invade County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, to play the Milwaukee Braves. All the doings are sent your way with the compliments of the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of America's oldest lager beer, Schaefer. And also with the compliments of the American Tobacco Company, America's leading manufacturer of cigarettes, on behalf of Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. The Dodgers and Milwaukee Braves doing their warming up right now as we await the start of this ball game. It'll be the third meeting between the two clubs. The Dodgers and Braves have each won one. We had quite a downpour of rain at about 10 minutes of 7. However, the infield was completely covered by tarpaulin, and it appears to be in very good shape. The outfield, there are no noticeable puddles. However, I imagine the grass is a bit wet and slippery. The cinder track, which surrounds the entire playing area, both in fair and foul ground, shows many, many puddles, and especially in left field and in right. The groundkeepers right now are trying to push off the water and dry it out as best they can. The Braves had some batting practice, but then the downpour came, so actually neither club had much of a workout, neither club having either infield or batting practice. The pitchers for this first of two games, it will be Don Newcomb against Bob Buell. They'll wrap things up tomorrow afternoon. Don Drysdale against Gene Conley. For Don Newcomb, he has 2 wins and 2 defeats with the National League. He is making his 200th National League start. Newcomb has completed 101 ball games. Magley, on the other hand, the only other active Dodger pitcher with 200 starts, and he's completed 87. Newcomb has been a very winning pitcher, especially on the road away from Ebbets Field. He has a 12-game winning streak on the road. He's picked up 1 this year and 11 in 1956. And actually has not lost a road game since June of last year, early when he lost the 5-4 complete game to the Chicago Cubs. Newcomb, with his 2-2 record, last year against the Milwaukee Braves was 2-1, and lifetime 10 wins and 8 defeats. For Milwaukee's Bob Buell, he is 1-1 this year. Last year, he had 8 wins and only 1 defeat against Brooklyn. He really racked them around, and lifetime 11 wins and 6 defeats. Buell pitched 4 complete game victories and 4 starts against the Dodgers at Milwaukee in '56. He likes to pitch in this spacious ballpark, and he allowed only 4 runs in 36 innings. He started against the Dodgers at Brooklyn this year, if you remember, allowing 5 runs, 4 of them earned, and 5 hits, and he could only get 2 men out in the first inning before he left. He's made 3 incomplete starts this season and relieved 1. The starting lineup for the visiting Dodgers: Jim Gilliam opens up at second base. Pee Wee Reese at shortstop. Duke Snyder hitting third in center field. Carl Furillo in the cleanup spot in right. Gil Hodges at first base. Sandy Amoros will be in left field. Gino Cimoli would most probably have started, except in the Giant series, and I'm sure you're well aware of it. Besides the troubled right ankle, he then pulled a muscle back of his left leg. And the word from Doc Wendler and from Walter Alston is that Cimoli will probably be out for a week. And there is even a question as to whether he will appear at all while the Dodgers are on this first Western trip. So Sandy Amoros in left field, batting 6th. Roy Campanella will be the catcher, Don Zimmer at third base, and Don Newcomb the pitcher. For the Milwaukee Braves, riding high, they're tied at first place with the red-hot Cincinnati Redlegs, who have won 12 straight. Danny O'Connell leads off at second base. Henry Aaron, the mighty Henry Aaron, will bat second in right field. Eddie Matthews will be at third base, hitting third in the lineup. Joe Adcock, always a Dodger nemesis, though not as much out here as he is back at Ebbets Field. Remember, Adcock hit 13 home runs against Brooklyn last year. Adcock in the cleanup spot at first base. There's been quite a jigsaw puzzle going out in left field for Milwaukee. First Bobby Thompson, then Wes Covington, and now Chuck Tanner, who's been going fairly well. Not hitting for the average, but the report is he's been hitting the ball right on the button. So Chuck Tanner, a left-hand batter, will get a start in left field tonight. Johnny Logan will be the shortstop, hitting 6th. Bill Bruton in center field, batting 7th. Del Rice will be the catcher to handle Bob Buell. And as we said, Buell batting 9th, the pitcher. The Milwaukee Braves have now taken the field. The pregame discussion continues at home plate. The 4 umpires, Shag Crawford will be the plate umpire. Tony Venzen on the line at first. Lee Ballantyne, the senior umpire of the quartet, will be umpiring at second, and Bill Jakowski around at third. To set the Braves defensively. Bob Buell on the mound and Del Rice his catcher. At first base, Joe Adcock. At second, Danny O'Connell. Shortstop, Johnny Logan. And the third baseman, Eddie Matthews. And now the large crowd standing here at County Stadium for our national anthem. Experience to be here at County Stadium in Milwaukee to see a large crowd somewhere between 35 and 40,000 standing and singing out loud and clear our national anthem. It's a great thing. I sure wish we could do it back in Brooklyn. Well, Bob Buell loosening up with Del Rice. We already filled you in on the infield for the Braves. The outfield, Chuck Tanner will be in left field. So Bobby Thompson and Wes Covington right now will ride the bench. And, of course, the Braves have a cut-down problem. They'll have to cut down 2 men. They have 27. So by Wednesday night, 2 faces will be gone from the Milwaukee scene. Tanner in left field. In center, Bill Bruton. And around and right, talking about faces on the Milwaukee scene, one that should be here a long, long time, Mr. Henry Aaron. Well, Bob Buell getting used to the mound as he throws down to Del Rice. Jim Gilliam swings a few bats and ready to come up. Gilliam, you know, was the leading Dodger hitter in the West last year. He had a .333 average. Although Gilliam has been in a slump of late, they hope that as leadoff man on his first Western trip, he can break Brooklyn going. The Dodgers, as of this moment, trail in second place by 2.5 games. The F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, delighted to be sending it to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Dodgers and Braves in the first of 2 games. And now for the play-by-play for Schaefer, here's Jerry Doggett.
Thanks, Ben, and hi, everyone. Set to play ball here at Milwaukee tonight. Jim Gilliam steps in, swinging the bat, and Bob Buell turns around and looks at the outfield and is about set to come down with the first pitch. Defensively for Milwaukee, Matthews, Logan, O'Connell, and Adcock on the infield. Tanner in left, Bruton in center, and Aaron in right field. Rice catching, and Bob Buell now still looking out to the left side to see if Chuck Tanner is ready in left field. Tanner moving in a step or two, and Buell still waiting. Puddles of water at the extreme fence in left field at the 355-foot mark, and here's the first pitch of the ball game, a high curveball, and it's ball 1. And I don't think Gilliam was ready for that one. Jim was standing there waiting for Buell to get set, and Buell just wheeled all of a sudden and fired it down. The windup next pitch is in for a strike, and the count evens at 1-1. A near-capacity crowd at County Stadium in Milwaukee, and now Gilliam walks out. Jim not ready, as Buell apparently quick-pitched him on the first pitch. Buell with a decoy looking out toward left, just wheeled around and then fired to the plate. So Gilliam waits with a 1-1 count. Buell into the windup, and here's the next one. Curveball belted to right field for a base hit. Over to play it as Aaron cuts it off, and Gilliam now is on at first base with a single lined into right field. So the Dodgers have a base runner as Gilliam gets a base hit. And up now will be Captain Pee Wee Reese. Reese hitting at 240, Gilliam hitting at 257. Pee Wee Reese coming on with Duke Snyder to follow, and then Carl Furillo. First game on the Western trip for the Dodgers. Reese waiting. Matthews at third, playing up even with the bag, and 2 steps off the line. Braves on the infield of a plate up, and Pee Wee punts it up the third baseline. Buell over to make the play. It'll go to first base. In time there, and on the play, Gilliam takes second. The putout is scored from Buell to the first baseman, Joe Adcock. So we have 1 gone on the sacrifice, and at second base, Jim Gilliam. Up now will be Duke Snyder. Duke hitting .265, has 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. So Snyder coming on with 1 out and a runner at second base, Jim Gilliam. Big Duke in swinging that bat. Field ready, delivers a fastball, a high pop fly into center field. Bruton wandering around now, moves in a step, waits under it, and has it for the out. Snyder out on a high fly ball, pops into straightaway center field. So 2 up and 2 down following the base hit by Gilliam, and oncoming now will be Carl Ferraro. Carl is hitting .273, has 20 runs batted in to lead the club in that department. Billy Herman in the third base coaching lines, and Jake Fiddler on the first base side. The Dodgers embrace, of course, split a 2-game set in Brooklyn. And so they start off here, a 2-game series, all even on the year. The Braves in a tie for the league lead with Cincinnati, and the Dodgers are 2.5 games away in third. Deals delivery, and Ferraro takes a strike. Fastball around the knees on the outside corner. Strike 1 on Carl Ferraro. Ferraro waiting, Gilliam off second base. And Beal now out of a stretch again. Checks the runner and delivers. A swing and a drive to left center field. Bruton coming on, and he's there to make the grab for the out and the side of the side. Ferraro lining one to left center, and Bruton raced in quickly to make the play. So it's no runs on one base hit, no errors, and 1 man left on. The Dodgers are out in the top half of the first inning, and at the end of a half inning of play, it's no score. Brooklyn nothing, and Milwaukee coming to bat. And now a rundown on the Schaefer scoreboard, and here's Vin Scully.
Well, to repeat now, the Pirates defeated the Chicago Cubs 8-6. Arroyo in relief won it and dropped the starter, lost it. Home runs by Foyles and Thomas for the Pirates. Long, Neiman, and Bolger for Chicago. Pirates 8, Chicago 6. The Giants and Cardinals due to get underway soon. Gomez against Mizell, but no report. Philadelphia at Cincinnati. Cardwell against Hacker, and no report there. In the American League, the Tigers shut out the Red Sox 2-0. Mars beat Sullivan, relieved by Delac in the 9th inning. Bertoy hit a home run for the Tigers. Final score, Detroit 2, Boston 0. Kansas City and the Yankees postponed on account of rain. Chicago at Washington, Donovan against Pasquale, no score at the end of an inning and a half. Cleveland and Baltimore, Garcia against Lowe's, 1-0 in favor of Baltimore at the end of an inning and a half. So those are all the scores on our Schaefer scoreboard. Braves coming up now against the Dodgers and Don Newcomb, and let's get right back to Jerry.
It'll be Danny O'Connell lead it off there for Milwaukee with Hank Aaron to follow, and then Eddie Matthews. O'Connell is hitting .260 on the year. He has 26 hits and 100 at-bats. 1 home run and 7 runs batted in. Nice round of applause for him here. The Braves opening up a long homestand now against the Eastern clubs. Big Don Newcomb, 2-2 on the year, will be the starting pitcher for the Dodgers here tonight, trying to make it his 3rd win of the year. Don making his 200th National League start. He has pitched 101 complete games in his first 199 start. Winds and fires. First pitch curved on the corner for a call, strike 1. Strike 1 count. Danny O'Connell the batter with Hank Aaron to follow, and then Eddie Matthews. No score, bottom half of the first inning. Newcomb into the windup, and here's his pitch. A bouncer out to the left side. Reese comes in for a big hop. Play across to Hodges in time for the out. It's 1 away. O'Connell bouncing out. Reese to Hodges. 1 up, 1 down, and the batter will be Hank Aaron. Henry hitting .379. Leads the league in runs batted in and home runs and in base hits. A tremendous ovation for Henry Aaron, a real favorite here at Milwaukee. And a near capacity crowd of 40,000 plus in County Stadium. And as Vinny explained a little earlier, the rain shower we had an hour or so ago might have kept a few folks away. A swing and a drive to center, base hit. Snyder waits for the hop and fires it back in, and Aaron is on with a single line to center. So Henry Aaron collects his 40th base hit of the year. Single to center, and the base hits in the ball game are even now as Eddie Matthews comes on. Eddie hitting .297, has 5 homers and 17 runs batted in. Left-hand batter. Outfield shades him around to the right now, and the Dodger infield plays a double play depth. Zimmer, Reese, Gilliam, and Hodges on the infield. Hammer, Olsen left, Snyder in center, and Perlow in right. Campy down to give a sign, and Big Don out of the stretch. The look and the pitch. Swung on as he changed up beautifully. Matthews swinging quite a bit before the pitch got in there, as Big Don pulled the string and broke one off very nicely. 1 out, 1 on, no score, first inning. The Dodgers and the Braves from County Stadium, Milwaukee. We'll have a day game tomorrow. Airtime is 2:25 over the same station. The Dodgers and Milwaukee right here at County Stadium tomorrow, and it'll be Ladies' Day here. The pitch to Matthews. Fastball high, pop fly around the second base base area. Gilliam back on the edge of the grass now. Waits and backs into right field. 2 steps and makes the play for the out. So Matthews pops up to Gilliam just off the grass in center field. Here now is Joe Adcock, the big first baseman, hitting .337. Big Joe has 6 home runs and 17 runs batted in. Adcock the batter. The only vacancies visible to us are scattered throughout the outfield bleachers in left and in right. 2 outs, 1 on, and Newcomb's pitch finds the outside corner. Strike 1 on Adcock. Chuck Tanner is on deck with Johnny Logan to follow. No score, first inning, each side with a base hit. Henry Aaron, the base runner for Milwaukee. Jim Gilliam got on for the Dodgers. Don Newcomb against Bob Buell. Strike 1 pitch to Adcock on the way. Change up, it's a little low, and it's ball 1. Even count now, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Joe Adcock. Schaefer Baird delighted to send it all to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 1-1 count. Newcomb out of the stretch again. Eyes Aaron over his shoulder. Delivers. Swinging a drive to right field. Slice along the line, and this is going to be trouble. In for a base hit. 1 hop to the wall. Roll over the plate. Aaron rounds third. Heads home. And Gilliam go to the plate. Will not be in time. Adcock goes to third, and Milwaukee leads 1-0. Hitting to the opposite field, down the right field line. Slice it in for a 3-bagger, and the Braves take a lead 1-0 in the first inning. A triple for Adcock, and a run batted in as Hank Aaron scores easily. The batter now, Chuck Tanner. Left-hand hitting left fielder. Newcomb's pitch is outside for ball 1. Tanner has 5 hits, 26 trips for a 192 percentage. The Braves out in front, 1-0 on a single by Aaron and a 3-bagger by Adcock. It's just inside the right field line. The ball rolled all the way to the barrier, 320 feet. And with the outfield shifted to the left, Earl had a long way to go to retrieve. Ball 1 count on Tanner. Newcomb's delivery. Curveball that's in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Runner at third, Joe Adcock. Milwaukee 1, Dodgers 0. First inning, and there are 2 outs and 1 on at third. Tanner wearing number 18 on the back of the white uniform. Big Nuke into the windup, and down it comes. Curveball tapped up the first baseline. Coming forward is Newcomb. Play to first. It's not in time. The ball gets away from Hodges, and the run scores. It's a base hit for Tanner. Tops up the first baseline. Newcomb went over to make the play. And when he threw down the line, he threw too close to the runner. The ball deflected off the runner, bounced away from Hodges a few feet. Adcock scored on the play, and Tanner is on first with an infield hit. 2-0 Milwaukee leads, and up now will be Johnny Logan. The third hit of the inning off Newcomb. On first, Chuck Tanner with an infield hit. Logan waits, and Newcomb's pitch is outside high for ball 1. Newcomb made the play on the ball all right, but he was right on the foul line when he retrieved, and he threw down the line, and the ball might have deflected off the arm of the runner and bounced away from Hodges, and Tanner drew life on a base hit. Logan waits. Here's the pitch. High foul off to the right, out of play. This will come down in the stands behind first, and it's ball 1, strike 1 on Johnny Logan. Milwaukee 2 and the Dodgers 0. First inning. Aaron singled with 1 out, and after Matthews popped up, Adcock tripled to right, and Tanner got a roller on the first baseline for another run and a base hit. The 1-1 look in the pitch to Logan. Curveball popped up into short right field. Coming in is Perillo, going out is Gilliam. Perillo calls and makes the grab for the out to retire the side. So Logan skies to right, and that's all for Milwaukee in the first. 2 runs picked up. 3 base hits. No errors, 1 man left. So at the end of 1 inning of play, the score, Milwaukee 2, the Brooklyn Dodgers 0. And now with a word, here's Vin Scully.
Well, you know, friends, some words are mighty hard to define. Let's take the word enjoyment, for instance. I guess the best way to describe enjoyment is by talking about Schaefer beer. Yes, sir, when you look at a tall, golden amber glass of Schaefer, crowned by a snowy white collar of foam, well, friends, you're seeing enjoyment. And when you lift up the glass and take a good long whiff of that delicate fragrance, well, you're smelling enjoyment. And then when you put that cool Schaefer to your lips, friends, you're tasting enjoyment. No maybes about it. Schaefer beer gives you the light, snappy flavor you want, but don't always find. Because Schaefer is brewed only of rich barley malt, tangy hop, and other fine natural ingredients. So no use trying to describe enjoyment. Have it in Schaefer beer. Friends, it's real beer. Boy, it's fine. The end of one inning. The Milwaukee Braves 2 and the Brooklyn Dodgers nothing. As Don Newcomb is roughed up for 3 base hits, one of them a triple. And now to the second inning, Gil Hodges coming up, and right back to Jerry.
Hodges starting it off for the Dodgers now in the second inning. And Gil is hitting at .318, 28 base hits, 88 trips to the plate. His average and that of Gino Simoli identical. Gino's, of course, not playing and will possibly be out for the entire trip, although he hopes to get back in possibly in St. Louis. But right now, Doc Windler is not too optimistic. Hodges stepping in. We're in the second inning, and the Braves now lead 2-0. Bob Buell, stout right-hander on the mound. Into the windup, and the pitch to Gil is low and outside. Ball 1. Hodges with 28 for 88 and 4 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Milwaukee 2, Dodgers nothing. And Gil takes a curveball up high and outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. There's a fastball for a strike, and the count is 2-1. Buell last year pitched 4 complete games in victories and 4 starts against the Dodgers at Milwaukee, allowing only 4 runs in 36 innings. 2-1 pitch. Gill swings a bounding ball to the right side. O'Connell comes up for the bounce, makes his play to first in time for the out, 1 away. Hodges out by a step and a half, 1 up, 1 down, and oncoming now will be Sandy Amaros. Sandy hitting .333. Roy Campanella on deck, and Don Zimmer to follow. Buell started against the Dodgers at Brooklyn this year, allowing 5 runs, 4 earned, and 5 hits in 2/3 of an inning to no decision. He has made 3 incomplete starts this season and is relieved once. Here's a pitch that skips by the catcher, Del Rice, all the way back to the backstop, and it's ball 1 on Amaros. Buell's record for the year is 1 win, 1 loss. Dobbs been off to a rather slow start this year. 1 out, none on. Dodgers batting in the top of the second. Milwaukee picked up 2 in the bottom of the first and lead 2-0. Buell winds, Amaros waits, and takes low and inside with the curve, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to Sandy Amaros. Roy Campanella off in the on-deck circle down to the left, waiting for his turn next. Buell's pitch. High, ball 3. Fastball came in too high around the bill of the cap. 3-0 count now on Sandy Amaros. Sandy has 5 for 15, and he takes a strike now, and it's 3-1. Buell pitching without a windup that time. Now comes to the top and fires again, and Sandy takes another one for strike 2. Full count, 3-2 on Sandy Amaros. Buell winds and fires. Sandy swings and fouls it back straight away. Count stays at 3-2. And plate umpire Crawford fires a new one out to Bob Buell. Crawford, Benzone, Valentine, and Jakowski working this one here this evening. 3-2 count on Amaros. 1 out, none on. Second inning. Buell checks the sign from Del Rice, shakes it off and gets a new one. Now shakes it off and asks for another one. 3-2 pitch on the way. Sandy swings at the high, pop foul on the first baseline. Adcock may have a play going down toward the box seats and can't get it. It's out of play back in the stands. Adcock, O'Connell, and Aaron all followed the ball, but it sailed away out of play. So the count to Amaros holds up at 3-2, and now, defensively, Adcock back to first, O'Connell back to second, Aaron moving back into right field. They play Amaros a slight bit to the right, playing to pull. Adcock deep on the first baseline. O'Connell playing about halfway, and he's back on the edge of the grass. 3-2 pitch again. Ball 4 in around the knees, and Amaros is on with a walk. So off Bob Buell, base on balls number 1, the second Dodger runner of the game. And up now will be Roy Campanella. Campy has 4 homers, 15 runs batted in, and is hitting .275. Campanella, right-hand batter, against Bob Buell, right-hand pitcher. Top of the second. Schaefer Bear, happy to send it all to you this fine evening from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Campy looks at a curveball that's down low, ball 1. Hope you're enjoying the ball game, and also a cool, refreshing Schaefer along about now. Campy waits. Pitch. Swung on a high pop fly in left center field. Going out is Logan. Coming on is Bruton. Tanner coming on. Tanner calls and runs Bruton off the play and makes the catch for the out. The Campanella flies out to Chuck Tanner in short left center. 2 down now, and Don Zimmer coming on, hitting .273. Don has 24 base hits, 3 homers, and 9 runs batted in. Zimmer up. Don Newcomb on deck. Runner at first base, Sandy Ambrose. Dodgers batting in the second, and Milwaukee leads 2-0. Checked by Buell, and the pitch to the plate. Zimmer takes it low and outside with a fastball, ball 1. Crowd of around 40,000 on hand for the game tonight. Curveball breaks down and away, and it's ball 2 on Zimmer. 2 balls, no strikes. Top of the second inning. Buell checks with Del Rice again. Looks at first to Ambrose. Zimmer swings and hits one foul back in the upper deck behind home plate. And it's 2 balls, 1 strike. We have a fine seat here at County Stadium on the mezzanine right behind home plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Don Zimmer waiting. Outfield swung to the left. They play Zimmer definitely to pull. The hole for him is in right center. 2-1 look by Buell. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2 as Zim had a big check going after a Buell fastball. 2-2 count. The infield bone dry, covered by a huge tarp. A little wet around the edges. 2-2 pitch. Zimmer swings himself one to left field. Tanner coming on fast and makes the grab for the out. Zimmer hit it right on the nose, but a line drive straight to Tanner, who raced in several steps and hauled it down, and the side is retired. For the Dodgers, no runs, no hits, no errors, and they left the man. And so at the end of the top half of the second inning, the score, Milwaukee 2 and Brooklyn nothing. Now fans, a word from Vin Scully.
Well, you know, one of the handy things about the Schaefer six-pack is that they're so easy to spot in the store. You just look for scenes of folks doing the things folks do. Fishing, having a picnic, working in the shop, watching TV, enjoying a glass of Schaefer beer in each of these situations. Now, those are the pictures right on the sides of the Schaefer six-pack. Pictures of enjoyment, real enjoyment. And naturally, they go hand in hand with what's inside the Schaefer six-pack. The real beer flavor that gives you so much enjoyment. So when you stop by the store, pick up a Schaefer six-pack or 2. Just look for the white background and the pictures of young folks enjoying themselves. Friends, you'll enjoy Schaefer yourself. It's real beer. And while you're having a cold glass of Schaefer, we'll pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
And dial 1460 WOKO Albany, the Capital District's most talked about station, downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. It's now 9:30 WOKO time.
Here's Bill Bruton stepping in now as we go to play in the second, and Don Newcomb into the windup. Down comes the first pitch. Swung on a pop fly on the left side. Backing up for it is Reese to the edge of the grass out in the center field now in about 3 or 4 steps to make the play for the out. So Bruton pops up to Reese in short left center. 1 away, and the catcher, Darrell Rice, coming on. Rice hitting an even .250 on the year, has 1 for 4. Playing tonight to give catcher Del Crandall a bit of a rest. Del Rice, number 7, walking up to the plate, right-hand hitter. 1 out, none on, second inning. Milwaukee 2 and the Dodgers nothing. Newcomb into the windup, and here's his pitch. Fastball, a little high. It's ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes on Del Rice. Bob Buell is due next. In the on-deck circle is Danny O'Connell, the leadoff batter. 1 out, none on. Bottom of the second. Big Nuke into the windup, and down it comes. Curveball that's in for a strike, and it's 1-1. One game played this afternoon in the National League. Pittsburgh beat Chicago 8-6. Nuke ready. The 1-1 pitch. Change-up, pop down the left side. Down the line goes Don Zimmer, waving his hands now as he crosses into foul territory and makes the grab for the out, and he almost lost it. Zim almost slipped as he got out there and almost dropped the ball, juggled it momentarily, made a quick fast grab at it, and had it. So fouling out is Del Rice, 2 away, and the batter coming on will be Bob Buell. 2 up, 2 down on top flies. Bruton pops to Reese in short center, and Rice fouls out to Zimmer down the left field line. The hand is for Buell as he comes on. Bob Buell, right-hand batter, number 10 on the back of the white uniform. Now Newcomb checks his sign, goes into the windup, and down it comes. Pop fly on the first base side foul. Hodges has room, comes out past the coach box, waits, and makes the grab for the outside, retired. So a quick inning for Don Newcomb as he gets some 1, 2, 3. Pop flies by Bruton, Rice, and Buell. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. The end of 2, the score in the ball game. Milwaukee 2, the Dodgers nothing. Now again, here's Vin.
Well, you know, of the young men who's facing military service one of these days soon, I imagine you probably do. Do you know one of them? Well, listen, you'd be smart to get hold of a booklet called It's Your Choice and learn all about the 30 different volunteer programs you can go into that give you special options not offered by the draft. For instance, if you're eligible, you can complete all your active duty in 6 months or get a college education. Good idea to choose the service and the program that suits you best. For a copy of the booklet called It's Your Choice, write to It's Your Choice, Washington 25, D.C. Or one of you folks who might be facing military service one of these days, why not do that for a copy of the booklet called It's Your Choice, Washington 25, D.C. Find out if you're eligible about those special options. The end of 2 innings of play, the Milwaukee Braves are leading the Brooklyn Dodgers 2-0. Don Newcomb against Bob Buell, and Mr. Newcomb will be first up to lead the parade here in the 3rd, so let's go right back to Jerry.
Don Newcomb coming on. Big Don has 5 hits, 15 trips for the year, 333 average, been used several times as a pinch batter. No home runs, and he's knocked in 4 runs. Newcomb batting left against Bob Buell. The windup in the first pitch. Swung on and ripped foul right back to the net. And it is strike 1. Our Milwaukee broadcasting buddies, Blaine Walsh and Earl Gillespie, sitting here with a big fishing net as those balls roll up the screen, and Blaine leaned out that time and snared that was we've got a baseball souvenir. There's a swing of a long fly ball to left field, drifting back forward to Turner, back to the edge of the track now, and makes the grab for the out. Newcomb flies out deep to left field, 1 up and 1 down. Well, these Milwaukee fellows have a pretty good racket sitting here snaring the ball. 1 out. Jim Gilliam coming on, got a base hit to right field first time up. Jim hitting .257 at the start of tonight's play. Buell delivers, and Jim leans back from the high one, and it's ball 1. 3rd inning, Milwaukee leads 2-0 on a pair of runs picked up in the first, a single by Aaron, a triple by Adcock, and a single by Tanner. Buell's next pitch is low, and it's ball 2 now to Jim Gilliam. 1 out, none on. Reese on deck and Snyder to follow. 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball is in for a strike, and it's 2-1 to Jim Gilliam. Junior steps out a minute, now back in again. 2-1. Buell ready, winds and fires. A bunt try, fouled off. Gilliam trying to go for a bunt. Fouled it off behind the plate, and the count evens at 2-2. 2-2 count. Buell now rubs it up. Some of the shine off of it, ready to come again to Jim Gilliam. They play Gilliam about straight away. Matthews a third up a step or 2, and a step wide of the line. Fastball comes low, and it's 3-2. Del Rice started to fire that one around, thought he might have had a called strike. But a full count instead on Jim Gilliam. Dodger leadoff batter. Buell's delivery is swung on and fouled straight back, and the count still 3-2. Ball hit the screen and rolls back to the batter's box, picked up there by umpire Shag Crawford. 3-2 the count. One out. Newcomb fly deep to left field. Buell delivers, and Gilliam swings and hits one out toward short. One hop to Logan. Up with it. The play across is in time for the out. And it's 2 gone as Gilliam hits a one-hopper to Johnny Logan. 2 up, 2 down, and here's Pee Wee Reese coming on. Pee Wee hitting .240. Sacrificed his first time up and got Gilliam into second base. So Reese, 0 for 0, 6 hits, 25 tries before tonight's game. Buell delivers a curveball that's in for strike one, and Reese is set to bunt, and Matthews came charging down the line from third. Strike one count on Pee Wee. Buell delivers again, a curveball down and out, ball one. Even up now, 1-1. 2 outs, none on. Dodgers batting in the third, and the Braves lead 2-0. Curveball down low, and it's ball 2. 2-1 now. Philadelphia leads Cincinnati 3-2 at the end of 1 inning. St. Louis leads the Giants 1-0 at the end of 1. Buell ready with a 2-1 pitch to Reese. Blowing inside, ball 3, and it's 3-1 now to the Dodger captain. Pittsburgh beats Chicago this afternoon, 8-6. Count, Pee Wee waiting, Snyder on deck. Buell into the windup, and here it is. Up high for ball 4, and Reese is on with a walk. The second base on ball is given up by Bob Buell. So with 2 outs, Reese strolls, and up now will be Duke Snyder, who flied to center first time up. Duke hitting .265. Infield defense moves around to the right, outfield slightly to the right against Snyder. 2 outs, 1 on. Reese moves off first. Buell again out of a stretch. Check. And the pitch is high and outside. Ball 1. Reese bluffed going, and Del Rice cocked his arm and held up. 1 ball, no strikes to Snyder. Braves 2, Dodgers nothing, top of the third. Buell's pitch. Curveball is swung on a miss as he changed up that time and got Snyder swinging. 1-1 to Duke. Fine turnout tonight here at County Stadium in Milwaukee. Crowd of around 40,000. 1-1 left. The pitch swung on a high pop foul off to the left side, and this one's drifting back and into the stands out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Duke Snyder. Same Cubs tomorrow afternoon. Airtime will be 2:25 Eastern Daylight Time. From Milwaukee, the Dodgers go to Chicago for 3, St. Louis for 2, and Cincinnati for 2. Back home on May the 23rd for the Mayor's Trophy game against the Yankees at Ebbets Field. Then the Giants on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That'll be a week hence. 1-2 count to Snyder. Buell sets and delivers. Duke swings, and this is strike 3. Snyder going for a Buell fastball is out on strike to retire the side. So for the Dodgers in the third inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and they left 1. And the score at the end of the top of the third, Milwaukee 2, and the Dodgers have none. Hey, Vin, let's talk about insurance, shall we?
Insurance? Say, wait a minute. What about Schaefer beer?
Oh, that's what I am talking about. How you can insure yourself against disappointment by buying Schaefer beer in handy refrigerator-sized quarts.
I get the message. Have enough on hand. Get the Schaefer quart. 32 ounces of gold and amber goodness. 4 full glasses of foamy-headed, throat-soothing brew.
You're so right, Vince. You see, Schaefer beer really goes, especially weekends when friends drop by to visit.
Sure, everybody loves Schaefer's light and lively flavors.
And, brother, when you reach into the refrigerator to fill those empty glasses, you want to make sure something's there.
So why not pick up a few Schaefer quarts tonight to have on hand? It's the best insurance you can have for real enjoyment. And, mister, you're sure of real enjoyment with Schaefer. It's real beer. Well, the Milwaukee Braves, back of Bob Buell, breezing along 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Don Newcomb will be facing Danny O'Connell first up, and here's Jerry.
O'Connell first time grounded out to Reese. Aaron to follow, and Matthews after that. The Braves got 3 hits and 2 runs in the first inning. Aaron singled with 1 out. And after Matthews popped out, Adcock tripled down the right field line, scoring Aaron, and then Adcock scored as Tanner beat out a roller up the first base side. Newcomb's first pitch. O'Connell takes it low with a curve, and it's ball 1. Last half of the third. Braves 2 and the Dodgers nothing. Braves in a flat-footed tie with Cincinnati for the league lead. The Redlegs have won 12 straight. Curve is in for a strike, and it's 1-1 now to Danny O'Connell. O'Connell, Aaron, and Matthews, the first 3 for Milwaukee. Danny wearing number 4 on the back of the white uniform. Big Nuke into the windup, and down it comes. Curve is a low and outside for ball 2. 2-1 now on Danny O'Connell. The Dodgers had a losing season last year at Milwaukee, 4-7 after 3 winning years in 53, 54, and 55. 2-1 pitch. O'Connell looks at it for a strike 2 as Nuke pulled the swing a bit and got it in on the inside corner. 2-2 count on Danny O'Connell, hitting .260 for Milwaukee. 2-2. O'Connell waits and Nuke goes into the windup. Curveball tapped up third. Zimmer coming fast for it. One-hands it, way to first. Not in time. O'Connell beats it out. Base hit number 4 for Milwaukee as Danny O'Connell hit the slow roller up the third base side, and Don Zimmer made a fine play on the ball, but it was not in time. O'Connell on with the base hit, the 4th off Nuke, and the 2nd of the infield variety. And here's Henry Aaron coming on. Aaron leads the league in several categories, including hits, home runs, runs scored, and runs batted in. And he's hitting .379. 1 on and out, Newcomb into the stretch. Curveball, top foul up the first base line, and it's strike 1. Duke pulled the string on him on the first pitch, and he fouled it away. O'Connell on at first with none out here in the third. Milwaukee leads 2-0. Newcomb ready again, checks on her at first base. Now delivers to Aaron, a swing and a high fly ball, foul down the left field line. Zimmer giving it a try, but this one is about 5 rows back into the box seat. So it is strike 2 on Aaron. Zimmer and Reese giving it a try. Ambrose came over from left field, but had no chance to get to it. Strike 2 count. Henry Aaron at bat, third inning. O'Connell off first. Newcomb out of a stretch. Here's the pitch. Low and away with a fastball. It's ball 1, strike 2 to Aaron. 1-2. Schaefer Bear, happy to send it to you this fine evening from County Stadium, Milwaukee. First game of the road trip as the Dodgers head west to swing around to the 4 towns in the western half of the league. The 1-2 look and the pitch to Aaron. Swung on a drive in the right center field. They need trouble. Perillo, a long way to go, and makes a backhand jab for the out. Great play by Perillo. Perillo cut across into right center field at the edge of the running track in front of the 394-foot mark and hauled her down to beat Aaron out of the extra base hit. And possibly cut off another Milwaukee run. Fine play by Perillo. O'Connell back at first base with 1 out now as Eddie Matthews comes on. The Dodger outfield has certainly made some brilliant plays in the last several ball games. Newcomb delivers to Matthews. Curveball up high, ball 1. In the series at the Polo Grounds, there were several sparkling catches. And now Perillo pulls one out of the hat here this evening. Matthews waiting. Infield around to the right and double play depth. 1 out, 1 on. Here's the pitch. High pop foul on the first baseline. Hard Hodges may have room. Now edges over toward the box seat and makes the catch for the out. Hodges about 10 feet away from the stands, grabs in Matthews' foul ball, so we have two away now with Joe Adcock coming up. Adcock tripled to right, drove in a run, and then scored a run in the first inning. So with two down, Adcock comes on, and the runner at first base, Danny O'Connell. Big Joe waits, hitting .337. Newcomb out of a stretch. Here's the pitch. Change-up curveball is at foul in the upper deck off first base side. Newcomb with the stretch again. Here's the pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to right field deep. Backboard goes Furlow. Back near the wall, and he waits. He's got it for the out to retire the side. Adcock slicing another one to right field. This is playable and hauled down by Furlow on the running track near the sign that says 355. So that's all in the third inning with no runs on one base hit, no errors, and one man left on. The Braves out in the third, and at the end of 3 innings of play, the score, Milwaukee 2, and the Dodgers have nothing. And now let's turn in Vin and the Schaefer scoreboard, all the scores. Vin?
Well, the Pirates defeated the Chicago Cubs 8-6 today. Arroyo in relief won it, and Drott lost it. Home runs by Foyles and Thomas for Pittsburgh, Long, Neiman, and Bolger for Chicago. The Giants and the Cardinals, Gomez against Mizell, 2-0 in favor of the Cardinals at the end of 3 innings. Alvin Dark hit a home run in the third with nobody on. We now have a report that Hank Sauer hit a home run in the 4th inning with nobody on for the Giants, so the Cardinal lead is now 2-1 with the Giants still batting in the 4th inning. The Phillies in Cincinnati at the end of 2 innings, Philadelphia 3 and the Redlegs 2. Cardwell for the Phillies. Hacker started Fowler in the 1st inning for Cincinnati. Detroit shut out the Red Sox 2-0 back of Duke Maas, who's now 5-1. Frank Sullivan lost it, relieved by DeLocke in the 9th inning. Bertoia hit a home run in the 7th with nobody on for Detroit. Kansas City and the Yankees postponed on account of rain. Chicago at Washington postponed on account of rain. Cleveland at Baltimore, time called because of rain at the end of an inning and a half. Baltimore 1, Cleveland nothing, and it's held up because of the rain. It's been raining all over the place. We had quite a shower before tonight's ball game, and we're hoping to get it right in. All right, Carl Furillo coming up in the 4th inning. 2-0 Milwaukee, and here's Jerry.
Furillo received a nice round of applause for that fine running catch he made a while ago on Hanker, and first pitch to him is a strike curved on the outside corner. Carl fired out his first time, and is hitting .273. Braves 2 and the Dodgers now nothing, batting in the 4th. Breaking ball is down and low, and it's ball 1 and strike 1 on Furillo. Gil Hodges on deck, and Sandy Amaros down in the hole. Buell into the windup and delivers to Furillo. Curveball belted back to the middle into center field for a base hit. Into play it is Bruton, and Furillo is on with a single. That is base hit number 2 for Brooklyn in tonight's game. And up now, Gil Hodges grounded out to second his first time up. Gil hitting .318. The Braves got 2 in the first inning on a single by Aaron, a 3-bagger by Adcock, and an infield roller base hit by Chuck Tanner. That's all we've had in the scoring column. 2-0. Hodges at bat in the 4th with 1 on and none out. Buell with a stretch in the pitch. Buell takes a slider on the corner for strike 1. Strike 1 count to Hodges. Amaros to follow, then Campanella. Furillo at first. Moves off about 3 steps now as Buell goes to the stretch. The fastball is high, and it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Hodges. Day game tomorrow will be on at 2:25 to air it for you from Milwaukee. Hodges takes a breaking ball low and away for ball 2, and it's 2-1 now. 2 balls, 1 strike. Right-hander Bob Buell for Milwaukee, 1-1 on the year against Don Newcomb, who is 2-2. The 2-1 look, and here's the pitch. Hodges swings and misses, and it's 2-2. Count up at 2-2, that's right. Hodges waiting. Now Buell goes to first base, but Furillo back easily. Buell again ready. Pitch to Gill, high and outside. Ball 3. Dodgers swung on a miss to throw to second base, and they've got Perillo hung up. O'Connell chasing him back now to Adcock. Adcock runs him down and throws to Logan, who tags him out. And Perillo on a run down as Dodgers had struck out. Perillo running on a 3-2 pitch, went about halfway as Dodgers struck out. And they got Perillo in a horsey, and he's tagged out. And the play will go from the catcher to O'Connell to Adcock to Logan for the putout. Double play, 2 outs, and the batter will be Sandy Amorose. So for Milwaukee, a 2-4, 3-6 double play. 2 away. Nobody on, and here's Amorose waiting now. Buell delivers. Curve on the corner. It's an ease for strike 1. Milwaukee 2 and the Dodgers nothing. 4th inning. Buell ready, delivers. Swung a high fly ball in left center field. Billy Bruton drifting over. Tanner there also. And it's Tanner. Bruton now makes the call at the last minute and hauls it in for the out. So Amorose skies to Billy Bruton in left center field, and that's all in the 4th inning. No runs on 1 base hit. No errors, and for the Dodgers, none left on. And so at the end of 3.5 innings of play, the score is Milwaukee 2, the Dodgers nothing.
And Rose Oldsmobile always scores high. Yes, 67% of Rose Oldsmobile sales are to repeat customers. Folks who buy from Rose year after year. There must be a reason.
That's right. The reason is Rose Oldsmobile maintains in their modern service shop all the latest scientific equipment to give continuing warranty work on every Olds they sell.
Service that continues on and on, long after the sale is made. Rose Oldsmobile utilizes latest up-to-the-minute factory methods in offering this warranty service. Their mechanical experts are trained in their skills by regular attendance at Olds factory schools.
That's why Rose Oldsmobile scores high in repeat Olds sales. Rose makes certain that the Oldsmobile you buy from them is kept in perfect running condition. That's why 67% of Rose Oldsmobile customers return. Rose offers more low price plus the continuing service that means satisfaction to you. See Rose Oldsmobile, Capital District's oldest franchise Oldsmobile dealer, Central and Manning.
The Dodgers and the Milwaukee Braves. Last of the 4th inning, 2-0 Milwaukee, and play-by-play right back to Jerry.
Chuck Tanner stepping in, 1 for 1 tonight. Newcomb into the windup, and here's the pitch to the left-hand batter. High and outside, ball 1. Tanner got a slow roller up the first baseline for a base hit in the 1st inning. It drove in a run as Adcock came in from 3rd. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Milwaukee. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for Brooklyn. Last half of the 4th inning. Big Nuke into the windup, and down it comes. Curveball that's low, and it's ball 2. Waiting, 2-0 count. The windup and down it comes. A ground ball to the right side. Gilliam scoops over, up with it. Play to first, in time for the out, 1 away. Tanner goes down. Gilliam to Hodges. 1 up, 1 down, and Johnny Logan comes on now. Logan flied to right first time up. Bill Bruton is on deck, and Dell Rice to follow. 1 out, none on, last of the 4th inning. Milwaukee 2, the Dodgers nothing from Milwaukee's County Stadium. Newcomb's pitch is swung and belted through the hole to left field for a base hit for Logan. Amorose into play it, fires it back in, and Logan on with hit number 5 off Newcomb. Line drive between 3rd and short. So Logan on with 1 out, and Billy Bruton comes on. He popped up his first time. Ready. Out of a stretch now. Eyes Logan delivers. A bouncing ball to the right side. Gilliam comes in for it. Play back to second for 1, and no play to first as Bruton is on a 4th out. Out at second base is Logan. Gilliam to Reese. And before Rice comes on, let's pause now for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
And dial 1460 WOKO Albany, the Capital District's most talked about station. Downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. 10 o'clock, WOKO time.
out to Zimmer first time. We have one on with 2 outs now. Rice stepping in. Right-hand batter against Newcomb. Big down out of a stretch. It's Bruton, and the fans now start a go-go chant for Bruton. And there he goes. Here's Cappy short to second base, and it's not in time. Bruton has it stolen. Gilliam now registers a protest to second base umpire Ballantyne, but Lee gives him the sign back that Gilliam tagged him up too high. So Bruton steals second on ball 1 pitch down to right. Bruton on at second base. That's his 3rd steal of the year. Rice takes a curveball high, and it's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Del Rice, the batter, with Bob Buell on deck. 2 outs in the 4th inning. Milwaukee 2, Brooklyn nothing. Newcomb ready again out of a stretch. Delivers fastball high, and it's ball 3. With first base open and Bob Buell, the pitcher, due up next, they're now going to pitch out and put Rice on. Ball 4. So off Don Newcomb, that'll be the first base on balls. 2 on now as Bob Buell will come on. Bob just now coming up out of the dugout. It's a nice hand as he appears. Crowd of near 40,000 at County Stadium tonight to watch the series opener. It'll be Ladies' Day tomorrow. We'll be on hand at 2:25 to send it to you. 2 outs, 2 on. Buell, the batter, fouled out to Hodges, first time up. So Don Newcomb now ready to go. Checks the sign with Roy Campanella. Bob Buell, right-hand batter, waiting. Here's the pitch. In for strike 1. Off second base is Bill Bruton. At first base, Del Rice. Don Newcomb doing the work for the Dodgers. Big down out of a stretch again. Checks the runners. And the pitch to Buell. Strike 2 taken. Fastball right down. Bob kind of retreated with his left foot. And watch that one come over. 0-2 count on Buell. Now again the look. And a pickoff play, but no throw, as Reese cut in behind Bruton and Newcomb held up the throw, and Bruton beat it back in. Strike 2 to Buell. Nuke ready and delivers again. Outside, ball 1, 1-2. Nuke wasting one, trying to send Buell after a bad one, but he wouldn't go. 1-2. Bruton on second, Del Rice on first. Now again, Newcomb ready. Sets and delivers. Buell takes strike 3. He's out of there on all strike. First strikeout for Don Newcomb, and the side retired in the 4th inning for Milwaukee. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they left 2. And so at the end of 4, the score, Milwaukee 2, the Dodgers nothing. Friends, the first half of this game was brought to you by the F&M Schaefer Brewing Company of Brooklyn, brewers of Schaefer Beer, America's oldest lager beer. Now your host for the next 5 innings will be Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. It's made by the American Tobacco Company. Tobacco is our middle name. Well, you know, folks, the Dodgers and Giants packed more thrilling baseball into a 3-game package than we've seen in many a season. 2 games decided by a single run, 2-1 and 6-5 in 15 innings, and then a shutout by Johnny Podres for Brooklyn's getaway victory at the Polo Grounds. But the scores, you know, were almost incidental to that series. Don't think we've ever seen so many great plays in a weekend of baseball. And we're looking for more when the Dodgers get back home, because when they do, it'll be the Giants and Dodgers all over again. This time at Ebbets Field. Jot down the dates. The night of May 24th, afternoon game Saturday, May 25th, and Sunday, May 26th. Do your ticket shopping early and be there. go now to the top of the fifth inning with Roy Campanella first up, and in to call the plays for Lucky Strike, Vin Scully. Vin?
Thank you, Jerry, and good evening, everybody. Roy Campanella first up now, and Bob Buell serves him a curve in for the strike, 0-1. Campanella around as if to bunt, then let it come down. Roy flied to left field in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Campy batting .271. Campanella, Zimmer, and Newcomb, the way they come up. Buell serves a breaking ball and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buell right back again. Campanella takes a curveball in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-1. We're in the fifth inning. Milwaukee 2 runs on 5 hits. The Dodgers no runs on 2 hits. The 2-1 pitch to Campanella. Fastball outside. Ball 3, 3-1. Braves picking up 2 runs in the first inning on a single by Aaron, a triple by Adcock, and a trickle single up along first for Chuck Tanner. 3-1 pitch. Campy swings around, he goes and doesn't get it. 3-2. Roy really letting out that time. Almost sat down. Campy swings as a high foul off third base. There'll be no play on it. Back into the crowd. Count remains 3-2. The Dodgers, with their 2 hits tonight, Gilliam singled to right in the first inning, and Perlow singled to center in the fourth. Outside of that, the Dodger batters have been very quiet against Bob Buell. Bob ready now, and the full count pitch to Campy on the corner. Got him looking as Campy was trotting to first. Roy Campanella had thrown his bat away, was going towards first base, and Jack Crawford said, "You're out." Campy caught looking. That is the second strikeout for Bob Buell. His other strikeout came on Hodges, and they hung Perillo out to dry in the fourth inning. Here's Don Zimmer, hit a bullet, but right at Chuck Tanner in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Zim batting .270. Swings and runs the pitch back onto the screen, 0-1. Same 2 ball clubs tomorrow afternoon. Don Drysdale and Gene Conley. Buell looks in, now ready, comes to the plate, and the pitch is down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The air getting a little smoky here in the hollow where County Stadium is located, so there's a very much of a haze out in the outfield. The 1-1 pitch, Zimmer swings a hot one back of the bag and backhanded by Matthews, who makes his play. So Zimmer has hit the ball sharply twice and is 0 for 2 for his efforts. 2 down, and Don Newcomb coming up. There must be some kind of a machine shop or an oil refinery or something like that. If we were in Pittsburgh, you'd say it's a blast furnace. Just starting to get a little smoky. To make it tough, I imagine, for the outfielders. Don Newcomb flied to left field in the third inning. He's 0 for 1. Don batting .320. 2 out, bases empty in the fifth inning. Milwaukee 2, Brooklyn nothing. The pitch to Newcomb, fastball in for the strike, 0-1. Buell beat Brooklyn 8 times last year. Winds and comes to the plate, and his strike 1 serve, he bounces a curve. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bob Buell was most effective against Brooklyn here at County Stadium last year. 4 starts, 4 wins, 4 complete games. 1 winner way outside, one-handed by Del Rice. Ball 2, 2-1. Phillies are leading Cincinnati 4-2 at the end of 3 innings. And that's their ball game to watch. Redlegs, after winning 12 straight, tangling with a surprising Philadelphia ball club. Buell comes back 2-1 to Newcomb, who takes a wave at a sharp breaking curve. Tried to check his swing and couldn't do it. 2-2. Deuces wild with Newcomb the batter here in the fifth inning. Braves 2, Brooklyn nothing. Lucky Strike sending it all 2. Fastball is inside, ball 3. Yes, Lucky Strike, the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Blowing some smoke rings to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Buell checking side with Del Rice. The right-hander delivers 3-2, and the fastball is outside, and Big Nuke is on. That is the third walk given up by Bob Buell, who thus far in the ballgame has been pleasingly wild as far as the Milwaukee cause is concerned. Been around the plate, but he's had the hitters kind of loose. Heavy windbreaker being brought out to Newcomb because of the dampness in the air. Jim Gilliam waiting to the right of the plate. Gilliam singled to right field in the first inning and bounced out in the third. 1 for 2. Waiting now for Newcomb to get buttoned up. Del Rice holding up 2 fingers on his right hand to keep everybody in the ballgame. 2 out. 2-0 Braves, 5th inning. Buell turns on the rubber now and comes set. Checks Newcomb and delivers, and Gilliam takes up high. Ball 1. On deck, Pee Wee Reese. Dodgers had a very pleasant flight on their brand new Convair from LaGuardia over to Milwaukee. Got in here last night. 1-0 pitch to Gilliam, a hot one wide of first and through into right field for a base hit. Newcomb around second, going to third, and will make it easily as Aaron gets the ball back into Danny O'Connell. So the Dodgers on Gilliam's second base hit have their first man to get to second safely and now to third. Gilliam was the man to get to second safely in the first inning, and Newcomb is the first Dodger to reach third base. So Junior is 2 for 3. Hits number 3 off Bob Buell, and Pee Wee Reese steps in. Reese sacrificed in walk, so he's not been up officially, batting .240. One thing the outfielders have to do tonight, after all the rain we had, if there's a base hit through the infield, the outfielder must charge it. Otherwise, the ball will die on the wet grass and cause trouble. Reese takes the first pitch down low, ball 1, 1-0. Big Ernie Johnson begins to loosen up now in the Milwaukee bullpen, way out in deepest right center. The 1-0 pitch to Reese, a breaking ball low and outside, and Del Rice going on both knees to block it. So Buell is now in trouble. 2 balls, no strikes. And no strikes. Reese waiting. Buell delivers, and it's too low. Ball 3. So Bob Buell now is 1 pitch away from loading him up. Don Newcomb at third. Gilliam at first with 2 outs. The 3-0 pitch to Reese outside. That loads the bases, and here comes Snyder. As they used to say in all the old movies, the natives are restless tonight. About 40,000 natives of Milwaukee stirring around a bit as the Dodgers make a decided effort now to get back in the ballgame. Bases loaded, 2 out on the batter, Duke Snyder, who has flied to center and struck out. Snyder stepping in with a .260 batting average. 2-0 Milwaukee in the 5th inning. Brooklyn trying to get rich in a hurry now with the bases loaded and 2 out. Buell was wind up and delivers. Snyder swings and slices one foul. Off third base, it'll go to the upper deck. 0-1. Don Newcomb at third. Jim Gilliam at second. Pee Wee Reese at first. 0-1 the count to Snyder. Duke with 4 home runs and 10 runs batted in. Brillo has had quite a spring. He has twice as many runs batted in. 20. Snyder waiting, 0-1 the count. Buell winds and delivers. The Duke swings as a high fly ball to left field. It should be an easy chance for Chuck Tanner. The left-hander comes in under it and takes it, and Bob Buell's out of the jam. For the Dodgers in the 5th inning, no runs, 1 hit. They lead 3 men. They have left 6 in 5 innings. And the score at the end of 4.5 innings of play, Milwaukee 2 and Brooklyn nothing. Now here's Jerry.
Well, sometime or other we've all watched the third base coach flashing signs, but did you ever watch old Vin flashing his signs? His hand held out, arm up. Well, that means I left my luckies at home. Can I mooch one? A beaming smile. Well, that's our sign that he's got his lucky and enjoying it. What else? Because a lucky is all fine tobacco. Naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Say, what's he signaling now? Oh, let's all light up a lucky. Good idea, huh?
For the taste that you like, light up a lucky strike. you'll say a Lucky's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
Half of the fifth inning coming on. Danny O'Connell, the first batter for Milwaukee. The Dodgers had a golden opportunity to slip away then as Bob Buell came through in the clutch to get Snyder on a high fly ball to left field and cut down the side with the bases loaded. So as we go to play in the last of the fifth inning, it is still Milwaukee 2 and the Dodgers nothing. Back to play, and here again is Vin.
Well, Danny O'Connell has bounced out short to first and singled, beating out a trickle ball when Don Zimmer fired to first base, just not in time. O'Connell 1 for 2, batting .268. O'Connell, Henry Aaron, and then Eddie Matthews show some big guns moving into position. Should anybody get on deck, maybe Joe Adcock will come up. So Newcomb has all the work cut out for him now as he goes to work here in the fifth inning. Braves 2 runs on 5 hits, the Dodgers no runs on 3 hits. Big Newcomb goes to his windup now and slows up on the curve and misses high and inside, ball 1. Braves have left 4 men, the Dodgers have left 6. Milwaukee 2, Brooklyn nothing. Newcomb staring in, getting his sign from Campanella. Now the 1-0 pitch to Danny O'Connell. Curveball punched at, hits to the right side. Gilliam over to plug up the hole and makes his play. O'Connell goes out, second to first, 1 up, 1 away. Henry Aaron has singled to center and flied to right field. His fly ball to right was a belt to right center. That Thrillo caught going away right near the 394-foot mark. Henry Aaron off to a tremendous jump this year. Rated perhaps the most dangerous hitter in the National League. Newcomb delivers, and the pitch is in for the strike. Going 1. Leads the league in home runs with 9, runs batted in with 25, base hits with 40. The 0-1 pitch, Darren. Cut on, hit off the thumbs, a high foul off third base. Zimmer coming over, but he has no play. 0-2. Aaron also, besides leading in base hits, home runs, and runs batted in, also leads in runs scored with 27. So in a sense, Henry Aaron and Fred Haney have confounded the league. They figured with Henry Aaron batting second, he would not be driving in many runs, but here he is leading the league. The 0-2 pitch now to Hank. Newcomb delivers. The pitch is cut on and fouled away. Out of play in the upper deck just to the left of home plate. 0-2 the count. Lucky Strike sending it all to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and delighted to be sending a big ball game your way. Wishing you the very best wherever you may be. The 0-2 pitch to Henry Aaron outside. Campanella had his right arm cocked, ready to fire the ball around the infield, and umpire Shag Crawford said no. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, bases empty. Last of the fifth inning. Milwaukee 2, Brooklyn nothing. Don Newcomb and Bob Buell. Newcomb staring in. Aaron kind of pinwheeling that bat like a pendulum. Now we're ready. The 1-2 pitch to Henry. Cut on and lined into right center. Slashing away from Snyder. That will roll to the whale. Snyder, after the ball is up with it. Aaron is around second and holds right there. Gilliam gets the ball back to the infield. So Aaron, who was robbed of a base hit on a great running play by Thrillo, sliced this one into deepest right center that hooked away from Snyder. And by the time the Duke could run it down, Henry had a double. So Henry Aaron is 2 for 3. The Dodgers, to a man, would certainly like to find out how in the world to pitch to him, though I imagine the rest of the National League feels the same way. Newcomb now rubbing up the ball, walking out towards second base, and is having a chat with Aaron. Whatever he said, Aaron is laughing, and Newcomb now comes back. The crowd is booing, but I think Newcomb just walked off the mound and probably as a guest said, Aaron, what in the world do I have to do to get you out? And Aaron just grinned good-naturedly. Newcomb came walking back to the mound. The crowd, I think, thought that Newcomb was upset, but we have the glasses on him, and Don just kind of was shaking his head in admiration. All right, here's Eddie Matthews, who was popped out and fouled out. He is 0 for 2. Aaron at second base with 1 out. Newcomb comes set, checks Henry Aaron and delivers to Matthews, and the fastball is on the corner for a strike. 0-1. Newcomb sat, looks at Aaron, now delivers. A strike one pitch is cut on as a high fly ball to deep center, but Snyder's there calling. Henry Aaron tagging up. Snyder grabs the ball, Aaron bluffs and then holds, and Snyder throws a strike on a bounce to Zimmers. What a throw by the Duke. He really cut that one loose. Now we have two down. Henry Aaron remains at second base, and the batter will be Joe Adcock. You know, talking about Don Newcomb going out to second base and saying something to Henry Aaron, and Aaron laughing. Mel Ott tells a story of one time how he came up and hit a home run, and as he trotted around the base pad, the pitcher picked up the rosin bag and threw it at him. I mean, that's getting mad. By the way, the pitcher's control was not too good. He didn't hit Mel. Here's Adcock with a triple, and he flied to right, 1 for 2. Newcomb takes a peek at Aaron at second base, works the plate, and has the ground ball to Gilliam, who's up with it cleanly, waits for Hodges, and then hits him with his throw. So Adcock is retired 4 to 3, and the Braves go out in the fifth inning. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1 man, they have left 5, and at the end of 5 innings of play, Milwaukee 2 and Brooklyn nothing.
No wonder he's whistling. He's happy because he bought his 1957 Olds from Rose Oldsmobile, the oldest franchise Oldsmobile dealer in the Capital District.
Why, I wouldn't even consider buying my Olds from any dealer but Rose Oldsmobile.
There must be a reason. There is, because Rose maintains the proper facilities for warranty work that ensures your satisfaction. Service that continues long after the sale is made.
Rose Oldsmobile's modern shop contains all the latest factory-approved equipment for keeping your Olds in tip-top condition. Their careful servicemen are constantly being trained in Olds factory schools.
That's the reason. That's why over 67% of Rose Oldsmobile sales are to repeat customers, folks who come back year after year, because Rose offers more. Low price plus continuing interest in your satisfaction. There's no substitute for integrity, and integrity means Rose Oldsmobile, Central and Fanning, satisfying customers at the same location for more than 30 years. That's Rose Oldsmobile.
Top of the sixth, the Dodgers coming on, so let's get right back to Vin.
Carl Frillo lined out to center field and singled to center. He's 1 for 2. Frillo will be followed by Hodges and then Ambrose. Sixth inning, 2-0 Milwaukee. The Dodgers had a chance in the fifth when they filled the bases with 2 out, but Snyder flied to left. Now they go into the sixth. Bob Buell ready, and the right-hander comes to the plate, and Frillo takes a curve low and away. Ball 1. Milwaukee 2 runs on 6 hits. Brooklyn no runs on 3 hits. Buell comes right back again 1-0, and Frillo lets the fastball go under his hand. Ball 2. 2-0. Carl now backs out and looks down at Billy Herman. Buell has walked 4 men thus far. Struck out 2. Make it 3. Frillo takes the pitch in for a strike. 2-1. So he has 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. Buell ready, and the 2-1 pitch to Frillo, taken low, ball 3. 3-1. On deck, Gil Hodges. Buell winds, working in a hurry. The 3-1 pitch, high and inside, ball 4. So Carl Frillo walks to open up things in the 6th inning. That marks the 5th base on balls given up by Bob Buell. Walked 2 men in the 5th inning to get himself in some trouble, but worked his way out of it, and now starts the 6th by walking Carl. Gil Hodges stepping in, bounced out and struck out, and on the strikeout, the Braves ended up on a double play as they ran Frillo down between first and second. Hodges settled in the hitter's box. Buell looks over at Frillo and delivers, and Hodges takes up high, ball 1. And they begin to get restless again here at County Stadium. The end of 4 innings, the Phillies 4 and the Redlegs 2. Buell delivers. Hodges takes way outside, ball 2. So now, with a storm signal up, Danny O'Connell comes in from second base to try and settle Bob Buell down. Has checked the sign with Billy Herman to see if he'll be swinging or not, or if he's allowed to. The 2-0 pitch. High, ball 3. So Bob Buell now stumbling around a bit. Walked Frillo and is fallen behind the Hodges. 3 balls and no strikes. Buell pinwheels his right arm around, trying to loosen up the shoulder muscles. 3-0 to count to Hodges. On deck, Sandy Ambrose. The 3-0 pitch. High, ball 4, and he's walked the first 2 men in the 6th inning. So Buell has now walked 6 men. Ernie Johnson, who was up before, now begins to stir again in the Milwaukee bullpen in deepest right center. Frillo standing at second, Hodges at first. Nobody out in the 6th inning. Milwaukee 2 and Brooklyn nothing. Sandy Ambrose walked and flied to center, 0 for 1. Sandy wiggling that bat back of his left ear. Eddie Matthews inside third in the event of a bunt. Buell delivers Ambrose around the bunt and takes low, ball 1. And Del Rice is fuming and took it out on Bob Buell. He fired the ball back at Buell, and now Del Rice and Shag Crawford are mask to mask right back at home plate. The umpire has taken his mask off, and Del Rice is really steaming. Now coming in is second baseman Danny O'Connell and third baseman Eddie Matthews, and they abruptly just spin Del Rice around and say, let's get back to catching. Boy, Matthews made no bones about it. He grabbed Rice by the left arm and just spun him around. And Rice, still growling and fuming, settles back low back of the plate. 1 ball and no strikes to Sandy Ambrose. Buell comes set, delivers 1-0, outside, ball 2. Oh, Bob Buell waiting around in the stormy waters now. Walked Frillo and Hodges and has fallen behind Ambrose, 2 balls and no strikes. Fred Haney nervously getting up on the Brave bench now, pacing up and down, now stopping with his hands behind his back, just staring out. Buell turns on the rubber, checks his runners. A 2-0 pitch, low, ball 3. So Buell is 1 pitch away from loading him up again. And Haney really pacing up and down in front of the Brave bench. Ernie Johnson firing away in the Milwaukee bullpen. Ambrose waiting, 3 balls and no strikes. Buell comes set, the 3-0 pitch. In there at the knees for a strike. As Ambrose started to walk towards first base, they call him back. 3-1 to Sandy. Ambrose has checked the sign now, if there is one. Buell set, and the 3-1 pitch. Ambrose takes low, and that loads him up. And coming out to the mound in a hurry, manager Fred Haney. So the Dodgers, who had bases loaded and 2 out in the 5th inning, could not score as Snyder flied to left. And now they are given a golden opportunity. Bases loaded with nobody out, and Campanella the battery. Haney out to the mound talking to Buell. Del Rice is out there. Joe Adcock. Ernie Johnson, who was so brilliant against Brooklyn at Ebbets Field, continues to fire away in the Brave bullpen. Buell still has the ball, and that's a good indication he's staying in, and yes, he is. Fred Haney walks away. Anytime you see a meeting out at the mound, you watch the manager. If he takes the ball away from the pitcher, no matter how long he stands out there, you figure the pitcher has had it. Roy Campanella with the bases loaded and nobody out. He has flied to left and struck out looking. The Braves are in double play depth. Buell delivers to Camp, a strike. Sandy Ambrose at first, Joe Hodges at second, Carl Furillo at third, nobody out. 2-0 Milwaukee, 6th inning. So light up a lucky and stay right with us. Buell delivers strike 1. Campy swings a fly ball into right field. Henry Aaron coming in, tagging up is Furillo. Here comes Furillo. Aaron's throw, and back to third goes Furillo. Furillo had plenty of chance to come in and score. For the throw, Aaron had given a run up, and he was throwing to third base. But Furillo decided to get back to the bag. The bases remain loaded with 1 out. Furillo mad at himself and kicks at the bag. 1 out. So the Dodgers give up a run on that play, or at least a chance to score 1. All right, Don Zimmer is 0 for 2, lined out and was backhanded out by Eddie Matthews. Zimmer 0 for 2. Buell winds and delivers, and Zim takes a strike, 0-1. Furillo can well remember a ball game last year with the Cincinnati Redlegs. He caught a fly ball in deepest right center, and Bertie Tebbets, who was coaching at third, held up Bob Thurman, and all Frillo did was lob the ball back into second. That cost Cincinnati. The strike one pitch to Zimmer. Cut on and missed. A sharp curve. 0-2. So Bob Buell, given a break as Frillo held at third on the fly ball to pretty deep right, is now trying to make the most of it. Zimmer waiting. Bases loaded. 1 out. Buell staring in. Now to his windup. The strike 2 pitch. Low and outside. Ball 1. 1-2. After Zimmer comes Don Newcomb. Frillo at third. Hodges at second. Amoros at first. 1 out. Buell has to count his way. Zimmer waiting. Now Bob winds. A 1-2 pitch. Don takes outside and low. Ball 2. 2-2. Buell backs off the rubber, trying to think things over and get his sights squared away. Zimmer just waiting. Buell ready and winds. A 2-2 pitch to Zimmer. Outside. Ball 3, and Zimmer certainly had a great knowledge of the strike zone to take that pitch. And about 6 Dodgers come off the bench in the right-hand corner of the dugout, and you can hear them all hollering and clapping hands to Zimmer to hang in there. So a full count on the bases loaded as Zimmer took a pitch about 2 inches outside the strike zone. Buell flicks it as far with his gloved hand. Now he's ready. Full count pitch to Zimmer. Cut on and miss. Strike 3. So Bob Buell, with the bases loaded and nobody out, got Campanella on a fly ball, has struck out Zimmer, and it's up to Don Newcomb. Frillo still at third, Hodges at second, Amoros at first. And that fly ball to right field when Frillo held on might be the big play in this game. Certainly a 1-run affair is a lot different than any other score. It's 2-0 Milwaukee in the 6th with 2 out. Newcomb settles in the hitter's box. Buell delivers just low. Ball 1. 1-0. A 1-0 pitch to Don Newcomb. Cut on and sliced foul off third in the skyline boxes. 1-1. And the count to Newcomb, 1 ball, 1 strike. Buell delivers 1-1. Newcomb swings a little pop fly. Johnny Logan going out. He's under it. Waiting. He's got it, and the Dodgers have blown another chance. Buell gets a standing ovation as he walks off the mound, and the Dodgers lead 3 more. So in their 6 innings of at-bat, they have left 9 men, and the score at the end of 5.5 innings of play, Milwaukee 2 and Brooklyn nothing.
Baseball experts, here comes another Lucky Strike baseball quiz. But first, a moment to relax and light up a better-tasting Lucky Strike. Yes, sir, Lucky Strike is a genuine cigarette. All fine tobacco. Naturally mild, good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Have you tried a Lucky lately? You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Now, our Lucky Strike baseball quiz. You ready? Who holds the Major League record for the most consecutive years leading the league in home runs? Did you say Babe Ruth? Well, if you did, you're wrong. Ralph Kiner set the record when he led the league, the National League in home runs for 7 consecutive years, 1946 to 1952. And that's our Lucky Strike quiz. Now, before we get back to play, let's pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
Head dial 1460 WOKO Albany, the Capital District's most talked about station, downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. 24 now before 11 WOKO time.
Bottom of the 6th inning, Milwaukee coming on, and Chuck Tanner, the first batter up. So let's go right back to the action, and here's Vin.
Well, Don Newcomb, I imagine, talking to himself out there on the mound. The Dodgers have left 6 men on the base paths in the last 2 innings. They trail 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Chuck Tanner, Johnny Logan, and Bill Bruton. Tanner got an infield single that brought a run in and bounced out second to first. Newcomb ready to go to work now on the left-hand batter, Chuck Tanner, sends him a fastball outside, ball one. The paid attendance tonight, and the rain did its damage. Paid attendance, 34,731. There would have been close to 45,000 folks here tonight, except for the rain. The 1-0 pitch, Tanner takes on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. They had an advance sale of over 31,000 tickets. And you figure that anywhere from 10 to 15,000 more folks would have come out. The 1-1 to Chuck Tanner, taking a curveball down low, ball two, 2-1. Milwaukee 2 runs on 6 hits and no errors. They've left 5. And the Dodgers no runs on 3 hits and no errors. They have left 9. Newcomb winds and the 2-1 pitch to Tanner. Curveball low, ball 3. 3-1. Groan comes up from the crowd here at County Stadium, for out on the scoreboard, those amazing Cincinnati Redlegs are at it again. We'll tell about it. 3-1 pitch is low, ball 4, and Chuck Tanner's on. The Redlegs at the end of 5 innings have come from behind and now lead the Phillies 5-4 as Cincinnati trying to win their 13th straight. That is the second walk given up by Newcomb. The other one was intentional to Del Rice. Chuck Tanner at first. Nobody out, bottom of the 6th inning. Johnny Logan the batter. Logan has flied to right and single to left. Newcomb comes set, takes a peek at first, decides to throw over there to keep Tanner near the bag. Lucky strike, sending you a big ball game. The Dodgers and Braves from County Stadium. Newcomb turns on the rubber and now comes set. Delivers to Logan, who's around to bunt, and bunts in the air and foul ground. It drops untouched between the on-charging Hodges and Roy Campanella. The count 0-1. The Braves got the 2 runs in the first inning with 1 out. Aaron singled. After Matthews popped up, Adcock tripled to right field to get the run over. Tanner dribbled the ball up along first and beat the play for an infield single to allow the second run to come over, and that's been it. Newcomb sat, another look over at Tanner, and he throws over there, Chucky's back. The Dodgers have had at least 1 base runner in every inning. And in the 5th and again in the 6th, they left them loaded. Nuke ready, and the strike 1 pitch. Logan around to bunt and does up towards first. Hodges whirls, goes to Reese. They get the force play on Chuck Tanner. Oh, Gil Hodges making a fine defensive play, firing a strike to Reese. Tanner retired 3-6 from Gil Hodges to Pee Wee Reese. 1 out, and the batter, Bill Bruton. Bruton has popped the short and hit into a force play. He stole the base. Bill 0 for 2. Newcomb set, throws over to first. Johnny Logan back. Newcomb set and delivers. Bruton swings a high drive to deepest right center. Snyder on the run. Perillo on the run. It's between them, going to the barrier fence. Logan is around third. He'll score, and Bruton has a stand-up triple. Bill Bruton spikes one into deepest right center. Neither Snyder nor Perillo had a play on the ball. Bruton tripling in Johnny Logan. And the Braves now lead 3-0. 1 out, the infield drawn up, and Del Rice stepping in. Rice tonight is 0 for 1 with an intentional walk. Newcomb winds and delivers. Del nubs it back foul, 0-1. Braves 3 runs, and the Dodgers nothing. Milwaukee 3 runs on 7 hits. Infield drawn in tight. Rice waiting. Newcomb ready and delivers, and they pitch out. Bruton had a cautious lead at third and stays right at the bag. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sandy Koufax and Clem Labine in the Brooklyn bullpen. Rice swings and squirts it away foul off the end of his bat. 1-2. Braves 3, Dodgers nothing. Bottom of the 6th inning. Bill Bruton at third with 1 out. 1-2 the count to Del Rice. Newcomb winds and the 1-2 pitch. Taken just outside. 2-2. After Del Rice comes the pitcher, Bob Buell. Luke staring in. Rice moves that bat back and forth. Now Don delivers 2-2. Curve fouled away again. All right, Newcomb ready. And the 2-2 pitch to Del Rice. Fastball got him swinging. Rice strikes out for the second out. Bill Bruton holding at third, and that will bring up Bob Buell. Buell getting an ovation for a gritty performance this evening, especially in the 6th inning when the Dodgers had the bases loaded and nobody out, and Campanella, Zimmer, and Newcomb could not deliver. With Buell up there, and he's a right-hand batter, there is always a threat of Bill Bruton attempting a steal of home. He runs halfway down the line as Newcomb's fastball is a comebacker right to the mound. Newcomb takes it, throws to first, and that's it. In the 6th inning for Milwaukee, they pick up 1 run on 1 hit. The triple by Bill Bruton, and 1 man left on base. Now, at the end of 6 innings of play, Milwaukee 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Brooklyn, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And now let's run down our Lucky Strike scoreboard, and here's Jerry.
Well, Vinny Cincinnati came up with 3 runs in the last half of the 5th inning and now lead the Phils by a score of 5-4 through 5 innings of play, trying for their 13th straight. Hacker started for Cincinnati, was knocked out in the 1st inning. Fowler came on, and then he was replaced in the 6th inning by Sanchez. For Philadelphia, Cardwell and Farrell have done the pitching, and Thurman hit a home run for Cincinnati in the 5th inning with 2 on to account for the 3 runs and the lead in the ball game 5-4. The Giants at St. Louis at the end of 6 of the half innings. It is 5 for the Giants, and for the Cardinals, 3. Gomez going against Marzell and Merritt. Sauer a home run for the Giants in the 4th, none on. Cott hit one in the 6th, none on. Dark for the Cardinals in the 3rd, none on. In a day game this afternoon, the Pirates beat the Cubs 8-6. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Chicago 6 runs, 11 hits, and 3 errors. Arroyo the winner, and Trot was the loser. In the American League, Detroit beat Boston 2-0 as Duke Moss beat Sullivan, and Moss gets his 5th win of the year. Kansas City and the Yankees postponed rain. Chicago, Washington postponed rain. Cleveland, Baltimore postponed rain. Our ball game now moves to the top of the 7th inning, so let's go right back to play, and here's Vin.
Jim Gilliam first up now. Bob Buell delivers and gets it low. Ball 1. Gilliam, Reese, and Snyder in the 7th inning. 3-0 Milwaukee. Gilliam has singled to right, bounced out, and singled to right again. The 1-0 pitch to Junior, taken on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Bob Buell has given up 3 hits. He has walked 6 and struck out 4. Newcomb has walked 2, one of them intentionally. The 1-1 pitch to Junior, down low, ball 2, 2-1. Buell ready, the 2-1 pitch to Gilliam, high, ball 3. So Bob Buell, who had trouble in the 5th inning with his control, a great deal of trouble in the 6th inning, is starting off on that same bad foot again. 3-1, the count to Jim Gilliam. Buell winds and delivers 3-1. In there, strike 2. Gilliam started to go towards first and is called back. Full count to Jim. Sandy Koufax and Clem Labine heating up in the Dodger bullpen in deepest right center. 3-2 pitch. Gilliam takes outside, ball 4. So in adding up our walks, Buell walked a man in the second inning, walked a man in the third, walked 2 in the fifth, and walked 3 in the sixth, and now walks a man in the seventh. So he's really waiting around. That brings up Pee Wee Reese, who has not been up officially, sacrificed and walked twice. Buell comes set and delivers high and outside, ball 1. Ernie Johnson up again in the Milwaukee bullpen. On deck, Duke Snider. Buell comes set, looks to Gilliam, delivers to Reese, in for the strike, 1-1. So Buell has walked 8 men in 6 innings plus. The Dodgers, however, have not been able to take advantage of it. The 1-1 pitch to Pee Wee, a bouncing ball to the hole, over to plug it up as O'Connell. He knocks the ball down, now picks it up and throws too late to first base. And we'll see how they rule it. O'Connell going into the hole, knocked the ball down and couldn't make a play, and he draws an error. So Danny O'Connell charged with the first error of the evening, and the Dodgers, who had 2 golden opportunities go down the drain, are given a third here in the 7th inning. Duke Snider, the batter. Dodgers have left 9 men in 6 innings. Snider has flied to center, flied to left, and struck out. He is 0 for 3. Buell delivers. The Duke swings a 1-bouncer to Danny O'Connell. He goes to Logan. Back to Adcock, the double play. Down to third base goes Jim Gilliam, so we have 2 out in the 7th. Boy, this must be a most frustrating ball game for that Brooklyn bench, for manager Walter Olson, and for pitcher Don Newcomb in particular. Dodgers have met all over the place, but can't get them over. Double play, 4 to 6 to 3. The second double play of the evening for Milwaukee. Gilliam at third with 2 out, and the batter is Carl Furillo, who is lined out to center, single to center, and walks. Furillo takes a curve in for the strike, on 1. Furillo waiting. Buell goes back to his windup. The strike 1 pitch. Furillo lines it into right center. Billy Bruton going on a run. Away over. Reaching up. It's by him. Rolling to the fence. Gilliam scores, and Furillo has a stand-up double. The ball gets away from Danny O'Connell on the relay, and Furillo goes to third. That relay gets away from Logan, and finally Eddie Matthews comes over to pick it up, and Danny O'Connell will draw another error. So Furillo doubled into right center. That got the run over. Billy Bruton threw to Danny O'Connell, who booted the relay, and Furillo kept on going to third. Then O'Connell's hurried relay got away from Logan, but Matthews had backed up. They probably have to beat that ball to quiet it a bit. So the Dodgers get a run. It is now 3-1 Milwaukee. Furillo at third with 2 out, and the batter is Gil Hodges, who has bounced out, struck out, and walked. Buell delivers, and the curve is over. Strike 1. Buell winds a strike 1 pitch. Hodges takes low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Koufax and Labine in the Dodger bullpen. Ernie Johnson in the Milwaukee pen. Hodges takes outside. Del Rice going on his right knee to block it. Milwaukee 3, Brooklyn 1 with 2 out in the 7th inning. Carl Furillo at third base. Hodges hitting with a count 2-1. Pass ball outside and low. Ball 3. 3-1. On deck, left-hand batter Sandy Amorose. Hodges now checking with Billy Herman to see if he has a sign to hit. Buell up on top now, looking in to get his sign. Winds in the 3-1ers. Half swing, and Hodges just does check in time. It's low for ball 4. So, Mr. Bob Buell, if ever a man was flirting with dynamite, he's been doing it tonight. That is his 9th walk. 9 walks in 6 2/3 innings. Furillo coming down off third. Hodges at first with 2 out, and Amorose steps in. 3-1 Braves, 7th inning. Buell turns on the rubber, comes set and delivers, and Ambrose takes a strike, on one. Lucky Strike, sending it all to you from County Stadium in Milwaukee. Buell set. Now the strike one pitch. Ambrose hits one wide through into right field for a base hit. Perillo scores. Hodges around second will go to third easily, and the Dodgers are right back in it now. Milwaukee 3 and Brooklyn 2, and Fred Haney going out to the mound. So Ambrose singles to right. Perillo scoring, and Hodges advancing to third. Oddly enough, with all the chances the Dodgers had here in the 7th inning, they finally scored with 2 outs. Snyder hitting into a double play, and then Perillo doubled in a run. Hodges walked, Ambrose was singled, and it is now Milwaukee 3 and Brooklyn 2, and they go to the bullpen. They want Ernie Johnson. So Ernie Johnson coming on to relieve Bob Buell, who gets a round of applause for a very gritty effort. He staggered in the 5th, weakened in the 6th, and had to come out in the 7th. It's quite a long walk-in from the Milwaukee bullpen in deepest right center, so we can have a deliberate look at our Lucky Strike scoreboard, and here's Jerry to run it down carefully for you.
Okay, Vinny. The Pirates beat the Chicago Cubs this afternoon 8-6 on 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors, and Chicago had 6 runs, 11 hits, and 3 errors. Klein, Arroyo, and Pace for Pittsburgh, with Arroyo getting the win. Broughton was the starter for Chicago and the loser. Brosnan, Singleton, and Lown also pitched. For the Pirates, Farrell's a home run in the 2nd, none on. Thomas in the 5th, none on. For Chicago, Long in the 1st, 1 on. Neiman in the 8th, none on. And Bolger in the 9th with 1 on. Pittsburgh winning it 8-6. In a night game at St. Louis at the end of 6.5 innings of play, the Giants have 5 and the Cardinals have 3. Gomez with a 4-1 record trying for number 5 tonight. For the Cardinals, Mizell started, came out in the 7th inning in favor of Merritt. Sauer a home run for the Giants in the 4th, none on. Cott in the 6th, none on. Dark hit one for the Cardinals in the 3rd with none on. Philadelphia, Cincinnati at Cincinnati, and the Redlegs trying for 13. Pulled up with 3 runs in the last half of the 5th inning on a home run by Bob Thurman, and it's now 5-4, Cincinnati over Philadelphia at the end of 5 innings of play. Hacker, Fowler, and Sanchez for Cincinnati, Cardwell and Farrell for Philadelphia. In American League activity this afternoon, Detroit beat Boston 2-0. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and Boston no runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Moss getting the win over Sullivan, who was relieved by DeLotte. Bertoya hit a home run for Detroit in the 7th, none on. Kansas City, the Yankees postponed because of rain. Chicago, Washington postponed because of rain. Cleveland, Baltimore, they got the ball game started, and they played 1.5 innings. Baltimore was leading 1-0, and then the game was called because of rain. So that's a rundown on the Lucky Strike scoreboard, with the Pittsburgh Pirates beating Chicago 8-6, Giants leading St. Louis 5-3, Cincinnati leading Philadelphia by 5-4 score. On the mound, Ernie Johnson tossing down a few warm tosses now to relieve Bob Buell, who's in a peck of trouble here in the 7th inning. Campanella will be the first batter, to be followed by Zimmer if Campy should keep it going. Dodgers have runners at 1st and 3rd. We're ready to go back to action, so let's go right back to Vin.
Well, Ernie Johnson, for all we know, and there was a story about it, might very well have saved his job with the Milwaukee Braves back at Ebbets Field. If you remember a ball game where the Dodgers got off to a pretty good jump and the Braves came back and eventually won it 10-7. It was a brilliant relief appearance by Ernie Johnson. That, as we said, might have saved his job. Johnson had not pitched for the Braves since an exhibition ball game with Brooklyn at Fort Worth, Texas, and that was quite a while ago. And he did not pitch in the regular season until that time at Ebbets Field. And in 6 innings, when, for all we know, his Major League future was on the line, he gave up just 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 6. He did not allow a run. Ernie also appeared 1 other time since then and picked up a win, so he has appeared twice. He is 1-0 with the league, and the Dodgers will well remember his relief appearance at Ebbets Field. This will be the 2nd time they look at him. Johnson pitching to Roy Campanella with Sandy Ambrose at first, Gil Hodges at 3rd. 2 out and 2 runs over in the 7th inning, and Milwaukee leading 3-2. Campy just waiting. Johnson comes set. Catches runners, and the tall right-hander delivers down low and into the dirt. Dug out nicely by Del Rice, 4-1. Johnson is perhaps the slowest pitcher in the National League. He is extremely deliberate. He wants to have the mound just so. Of course, it's his prerogative to take all the time that he wants, and he'll do it. He has a tendency also to pitch. His motion is rather slow, so he upsets the hitters. He gets them anxious. a pretty good sinker, and he throws some curves and sliders. He is not a fastball pitcher, not by any means. Ernie kind of bends at the waist while he looks in to get his sign. Now set, and the 1-0 pitch to Campanella. Way out in front on a change. He doesn't get it. So there's that over-anxious hitter, and there's Johnson working slowly to him, and the count 1-1. 3-2 Milwaukee in the 7th inning. Johnson set, and the 1-1 pitch to Campanella. Down low, ball 2, 2-1. The Dodgers, of course, have no one to blame but themselves. And Frillo, I imagine, is still muttering to himself about holding on to third on the fly ball by Campanella in the 6th inning. That was an easy run, but Frillo didn't want to come in. 2-1 pitch to Campanella, taken outside, ball 3, 3-1. However, in any major leaguer's behalf, you can only make one decision and hold it. Frillo figured the ball wasn't deep enough and held on. You have no chance for that second guess. Campanella waiting, 3 balls, 1 strike. Ambrose at first, Hodges at third, 2 out. 3-1 pitch to Camp, cut on and missed, strike 2. Johnson again pouring at the dirt where the follow-throughs of Newcomb and Buell had chewed it up a bit. Ernie leaning on his left kneecap now while he gets his sign. Ready? With 2 out, Ambrose goes. The 3-2er is cut on. A little fly ball down the left field line, beginning to hook foul. Going over is Matthews to take it for the out. So the Dodgers in the 7th inning finally break through to come up with 2 runs. 2 hits. There were 2 errors, both by Danny O'Connell, and 2 men left on. So the Dodgers in 7 innings have left 11. And the score at the end of 6.5 innings of play, Milwaukee 3 and Brooklyn 2. Well, say, friends, what do you say we listen in on some thoughts as expressed by a Dodger fan, who incidentally is also a lucky smoker. Okay, let's go.
Well, lucky 7th. Time for all the hometown fans to stand up and be counted. I guess I'll do likewise. Stretch way out. Oh, boy, that feels good. Now, where are my luckies? Fresh pack. Nothing like it. Lucky 7th and a lucky strike. Oh, boy, that's great. They're not just talking when they say luckies taste better. Tell you how much better. You light one up. You'll say a Lucky's the best tasting cigarette you ever smoked.
To the last of the 7th inning. Milwaukee 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Brooklyn 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. The Braves have left 6. The Dodgers have left 11. Starter Bob Buell worked 6 2/3 innings, gave up 2 runs, walked 9, and struck out 4. However, Buell can be the winning pitcher. Don Newcomb has given up 3 runs, 7 hits. He has walked 2 men, one of them intentionally, and struck out 2. Here in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Braves will send up Danny O'Connell, Henry Aaron, and Eddie Matthews. Big Newcomb goes to his windup now and delivers, and O'Connell swings a hot one foul outside of third and down the line. 0-1. O'Connell has bounced out twice and singled. 1 for 3. Newcomb ready, and the strike 1 pitch to Danny, cut on and sliced the other way to the right of home plate. 0-2. Connie Ryan coaching at third. Johnny Riddle coaching at first for the Braves. Newcomb ready, and the 0-2 pitch. Soft pitch up high, changed up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Del Crandall is loosening up in the Milwaukee bullpen. In case you might have a twitch back of the plate. Newcomb winds, and the 1-2 pitch to Danny O'Connell. Change up curve and a big chopper down to Don Zimmer. Is up with it. Guns his play to Hodges, and we have 1 out. In case you weren't listening before, Here comes Henry Aaron, and we've had some strange plays in the ballgame, but that was really something. I imagine the writers will be asking Henry Aaron and Newcomb what was going on. Aaron had single to center in the first inning, robbed of a base hit by Perillo in the third, and then doubled in the fifth. And after he doubled, Newcomb walked right off the mound, right out to second base, and said something to him. Nuke winds and delivers. Aaron swings a bouncer to the left of Reese, who's up with a clean lead, throws to Hodges in time. So they get Henry Aaron. Anyway, Newcomb went right over to second base, right where Aaron was standing. We put the binoculars on him. Whatever Newcomb said, it made Henry Aaron laugh. And as a guest, we would say, knowing Newcomb, he probably said to Aaron, "How in the world do I ever get you out?" The crowd at the time misinterpreted Newcomb walking over there and began to boo, but then when they saw Aaron laugh, they forgot about it. 2 out, here's Eddie Matthews. Newcomb's changeup is cut on, a high pop fly into shallow right. Gilliam going out. Perillo coming in. Gilliam is calling and takes it. So the Braves go out quietly 1-2-3. It's the first time they've been retired in order since the second inning. And at the end of 7 innings of play, Milwaukee 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Brooklyn 2 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. First thing we'll do now is pause for station identification. This is the Brooklyn Dodgers Radio Network.
1460 WOKO, Albany, New York, the Capital District's most talked about station, with downtown studios in the Hotel Wellington. The WOKO time now, in 15 seconds, 3 minutes after 11 o'clock.
Dodgers. Well, fans, remember now you have until May 22nd, just 8 days away, to get your order in for our sensational 2-for-1 bargain sale of our 1957 Dodger Yearbook and the new Schaefer Lucky Strike Baseball Guide. You can get both these 12 books for 50 cents. The 1957 Dodger Yearbook, complete with 48 pages of anecdotes, stories, and plenty of pictures. And the brand new Schaefer Lucky Strike Baseball Guide and Record Book, crammed full of all-time Major League records, team rosters, diagrams of the ballpark, radio, TV directories of all the teams, and much, much more. Both these baseball books can be yours for only $0.50. Here's how to get yours. Send 50 cents along with your name and address to Dodger Baseball Books, Box 119, Brooklyn, New York. Dodger Baseball Books, Box 119, Brooklyn, New York. Send in for yours right away. Do it tonight. Here we go back to play, and once more, here's Vin.
The Braves are leading 3-2 as we go to the 8th inning. The Dodgers sending up Don Zimmer. Then we'll see about Don Newcomb's spot and Jim Gilliam. Zimmer is 0 for 3, lined out, bounced out sharply, and struck out. Ernie Johnson in relief of Bob Buell. The right-hander delivers. Zimmer swings. There's a high fly ball into shallow right. O'Connell going out, but Aaron calling as the play in front of him and takes it for the out. 1 up, 1 away. Don Newcomb coming up has flied to left, walked, and popped out. Braves 3, Dodgers 2, 8th inning. Newcomb gave up 2 runs in the first inning on a single to center, a triple, and an infield single. The third run came in the 6th. With 1 out, a triple by Bill Bruton got it over. Dodger 2 runs in the 7th, so it's 3-2 Braves here in the 8th inning. 1 out. Johnson very easily going to his windup. Now delivers, and Newcomb tries to drag a bunt and bunts it sharply to Danny O'Connell, who throws him out. Had Don not hit the ball so well, he might have had a base hit, for O'Connell plays pretty deeply for him. But Newcomb, in just trying to drag a bunt, really hit one sharply. Out he goes, 4-3. 2 down, and the batter is Jim Gilliam. Gilliam tonight has 2 singles to right, a walk, and he has bounced out short to first. Jim scored a run. Eddie Matthews inside the bag at third. Johnson delivers. Gilliam swings a high drive down the right field line, beginning to hook and go foul, and it'll go back into the bleachers. So Gilliam hits the ball pretty well, but pulls it too much. Count 0-1. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Don Drysdale and Gene Conley. Airtime 2:25. Game time 2:30. Johnson ready, and the strike one pitch. Gilliam hesitates and then watches it break low. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the Dodger bullpen, Rene Valdez and Don Besant loosening up, and now Valdez has stopped throwing. Besant throwing alone. And now he stops. The 1-1 pitch to Gilliam, curve low and inside. Ball 2, 2-1. When the Braves bat in the bottom of the 8th inning, they'll have Adcock, Tanner, and Logan. Gilliam waiting. Johnson winds, and the 2-1 pitch to Junior. Cut on, the bouncer hit up to Joe Adcock, who'll make the play by himself. So the Dodgers, for the first time tonight, go out in order 1, 2, 3. The other time only 3 batters came to the plate was in the 4th inning. Frillo singled, Hodges struck out, and Frillo was caught in a rundown, and then Ambrose flied out. But here in the 8th, they go out 1, 2, 3. So the score at the end of 7.5 innings of play, Milwaukee 3 and Brooklyn 2. And now here's Jerry.
Say, fans, take a guess at the time here in Milwaukee. See how close you can get to it. Well, if you said it was 7 after 10, then you're exactly right. And if you went a little further and said it was also light-up time, then you're thinking the same thing I am. Yes, sir, time to touch a match to a lucky strike. Time to settle back to the real deep-down smoking enjoyment of this truly genuine cigarette. And believe me, a lucky is just that. Genuine because it's all cigarette, all fine tobacco. Mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. Cleaner, fresher, smoother. Light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Last of the 8th inning in the 3-2 ball game with Adcock, Tanner, and Logan due up here to face Don Newcomb. So let's go back to action, and once again, Vin.
Well, Newcomb just trying to keep the Braves quiet, and then he'll hope for Brooklyn to come alive in the 9th inning. But here in the bottom of the 8th, Joe Adcock tripled in a run in the 1st inning, then he himself eventually scored. Slide to right and bounced out second to first. So Adcock has not been pulling Newcomb. Instead, he's been going the opposite way, towards right. Adcock 1 for 3. Newcomb staring in to get his sign. Now the big right-hander goes to work. Comes to the plate and misses outside. Ball 1. Newcomb trying to keep the ball away from Adcock, and Adcock hitting it where it's pitched. Triple to right, slide to right, bounced out to Gilliam. Newcomb back with a 1-0 serve. A changeup is hit down to short. Reese up with that cleanly, straightens up now and throws him out. 1 up, 1 away. Chuck Tanner, the left fielder for Milwaukee, got the dribble single which got over the second run in the 1st inning. Bounced out second to first and walked. Chuck 1 for 2. Newcomb ready and comes to him with a change and a comebacker by the mound. Reese over is up with it right near the bag at second and throws him out. Newcomb made a barehanded stab at the ball and went right over the mound. He missed it, but Pee Wee was backing up. 2 down in the 8th inning, and the batter, Johnny Logan, has flied to right, single to left, and hit into a force play. His force play was when he tried to bunt in the 6th inning, and Hodges whirled and threw a strike to Reese. 2 out, last of the 8th, 3-2 Milwaukee. Newcomb winds and delivers. Change-up, and Logan way out in front of it, 0-1. If you're not keeping score and you'd like to know the batters for Brooklyn in the 9th inning, they'll send up Reese, Snyder, and Perillo. Newcomb double pumping on Johnny Logan. The strike 1 serve, another change-up that balloons in there for a strike, 0-2. Nuke staring in. Don double pumping again. Now the strike 2 pitch to Johnny Logan. High, ball 1. 1-2. Wig wags a sign out. Newcomb has the one that he wants. The 1-2 pitch is just low. Ball 2. 2-2. So deuce is wild in the 8th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Milwaukee 3, Brooklyn 2. Newcomb delivers 2-2 to Logan, who swings a bouncer it slowly up along third and trickles foul. Zimmer over there to make sure it doesn't come back into play. So Logan will hit again with the count 2-2. Remember, airtime tomorrow, 2:25. Don Drysdale and Gene Conley. Drysdale will be pitching with 3 stitches just above his right kneecap. He got that in a collision, if you remember, back at Ebbets Field with Charlie Neal, who was playing third. Charlie inadvertently stepping on him and spiking him. Logan waiting at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Campanella settles low back of the plate, hangs out a sign. Newcomb still staring in. Now picks off the one that he wants, and he's ready. The 2-2 pitch to Logan. Soft curve, squirted away foul right off the end of the bat over to the Brave dugout, where Joe Taylor, the clubhouse man, is there to grab it. Newcomb ready. Logan waiting. The 2-2 pitch by Newcomb. Fastball cut on in line to center. Snyder starts to go in, then holds on and grabs it above his cap for the out. A low line drive that began to take off. So Newcomb has retired the last 8 men since Bruton's triple, but at the end of 8 innings, Milwaukee 3 and Brooklyn 2. Before we find out about Messrs. Reese, Snyder, Perillo, and the Brooklyn cause in the 9th inning, let's listen to Jerry.
Well, Benny, you know, it's not very often that philosophy and baseball go together, but Mr. Gil Hodges has managed to combine the two. Okay, Gil. Gil, smokers everywhere find that Lucky's tastes better, and for good reason. Lucky's are made of fine, mild, naturally good-tasting tobacco that's toasted to taste even better. So friends, do as Gil says and light up a Lucky. You'll say it's the best-tasting cigarette you ever smoked. Well, we get set to go in the 9th inning with Reese, Snyder, and Perillo coming on here. Last stand for the Dodgers. Milwaukee leads 3-2. So back to the action, and once again, here's Vin.
Well, in a tough ball game like this, manager Fred Haney has now gone to a defensive man. Frank Torrey takes over at first base, and Joe Adcock gives way. In the Milwaukee bullpen, left-hander Juan Pizarro loosening up in the event that Snyder comes to the plate. Right-hander Bob Trowbridge. So here we go in the 9th. Reese, Snyder, and Perillo. Reese has walked twice, sacrificed, and got on an error. Ernie Johnson in relief of Bob Buell, trying to save this one for Buell. 3-2 Braves in the 9th. Johnson winds, Reese waits, and takes a strike, 0-1. Eddie Matthews tight to the bag at third. Curveball is cut on is a high pop-up. Matthews coming down in foul ground. Is under it, waiting, and takes it. 1 out. Duke Snyder has flied to center, struck out, flied to left, and hit into a double play. It's been a long evening for him. Duke 0 for 4. Snyder stepping in. Again, Matthews just off the edge of the infield grass now as Johnson goes to work. Ernie ready and delivers. Snyder rams one into right field for a base hit. So the Dodgers are still alive. Snyder getting a base hit goes 1 for 5 in the evening. And with 1 out, that will bring up Carl Perillo. That is the first hit off Ernie Johnson since he came on with 2 out in the 7th inning. Juan Pizarro, the left-hander, and the right-hander, Bob Trowbridge, in the bullpen. Carl Furillo tonight, line to center, single to center, walked and doubled. He is 2 for 3 and scored a run. His double drove in a run. Furillo taking his time before he gets settled in. Ernie Johnson, meanwhile, looking at his spikes out there on the mound. 1 out, Snyder at first base. Frank Torrey holding him on. 9th inning, 3-2 Milwaukee. Johnson checking signs. Del Rice wig-wagging them out to him. Ernie ready and delivers. Furillo takes the slow curve down low. Ball 1. Pizarro heating up in a hurry as you look into the lineup. In the event that Ambrose would come up in a tough spot, perhaps they'd bring the left-hander to pitch to him. Trowbridge getting ready for any and all certainty. The 1-0 pitch. Furillo swings and fouls it back out of play. 1-1. Milwaukee 3 runs on 7 hits and 2 errors. Brooklyn 2 runs, 6 hits and no errors. The Brooklyn story has been one of frustration in the left-on base department. They've left 11. Snyder inching off first. Johnson comes set, and the 1-1 pitch. Furillo swings and fouls it at the plate. Backlash of his swing, dribbles it up towards first. 1-2. Johnson again pays the Rosenbag a visit, just fussing around out there, as he'll always do. Slips his glove and rubs up the ball. Now Ernie comes set. The 1-2 pitch to Furillo. Cut on a hot one and grab backhanded by Logan. He goes to O'Connell, back to Torrey, the double play. So the Dodgers, frustrated all evening long, have Furillo ram what appears to be a base hit. Johnny Logan backhanded it, and they got the double play 6-4-3. Another 1,000 free luckies to the Veterans Hospital in East Orange, New Jersey, and they pull the curtain down on Brooklyn, and the Braves win it 3-2. Well, that's the ball game.
Here are the totals on the ball game tonight. For Milwaukee, winning 3 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors, and 6 men left on. And for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 11 men left on. The winning pitcher, Bob Field, who now has a 2-1 record on the year. The loser was Don Newcomb, who dropped a tough one, and now has a record of 2-3 on the year.